Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy, Mike, and that's your boy, Scully. And this is your DM podcast. I believe I want to say seven. I believe it's episode seven. I don't know anymore, but this should be episode seven. But, right now, I have to stop the pod in some sense because as you can see, my boy right here, Jordan effing Love.
Let's get it.
This is a basketball podcast, but honestly, eventually, this will just be a sports podcast. If we want to talk whatever other sport, we're probably just going to talk about it if it's on our minds. We talked to Tani last time, so why would we not talk something else? But I, I just want to, if I may, first of all, before I even continue my rudeness, how are you, Scully? How's everything going on with you?
Everything is going good. How about you, brother?
You know I'm happy. I wasn't expected to be happy. I wasn't. I'm not gonna lie. If I may, I wasn't. I'm thinking like, okay, it's Green Bay versus Dallas. The crazy thing, I for the whole week I've been watching so much of Green Bay highlights in the past years. I watched Green Bay's Super Bowl game. I was wasting my time watching a lot of Green Bay. I'm a big Green Bay fan, and I watched something earlier today, and it was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers like game winners, and he has a lot of game winners.
Yeah.
People give this guy too much time to, and then there was a combination of him versus Dallas just killing them, and I'm like, oh, this is not good because I'm watching it now. The football gods are like, enjoy this because it's not going to happen tonight. So that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Dallas is like the number one team in offense, number one team in defense. They have Dak, they have Pole, they have amazing guys. They have a lot of names on that team,
They
and it's
do.
like they're better than Green Bay. So I'm thinking Green Bay is going to lose today, and I'm okay. I'm accepting this. I was accepting the fact that I was going to get on the pod, be a little bit like somber, ask you to carry me like Pippen and Jordan, and just carry because I won't be able to do it. But they had that first touchdown, and I'm like, okay, everyone chill out, 7-0. Then they got 14-0, and I'm like, oh damn, can we do something here? Then it was 20-0, and I'm like, you know what I don't like? I don't like being up this much. When you get up, what happens? You get lazy. It's like basketball, right?
Yeah,
You get
yeah,
lazy, you get chill, you're
yeah,
relaxing,
yeah.
you're like, we're good. I'm afraid of that. Dallas is still a good team. They just gotta rev it up. They gotta rev it. That's all they need. And then they we I turn off the TV because I have to do something real quick. And I come back and I see that it's 27-7 going to the half. And I'm like, what happened? I missed the interception. I missed the interception TD. And I'm like, okay, but I'm still nervous. And the reason why I'm nervous, because I'm on Twitter all the time. 27-7 was the score for the Chargers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. The Chargers were up 27-7. I forgot the score, but I know the Jaguars won. They came back. So and everyone was saying, I was like, don't forget the same score, blah, 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 blah. So I'm thinking to myself, it can happen again. Long story short, Green Bay won. The fourth quarter was kind of tricky because we were kind of letting Dallas do whatever they wanted. Really, we let them do whatever they wanted. But they didn't. Luckily, Green Bay won. Green Bay was being so like relaxed in the fourth quarter. They put their second string guy when there was like 10 minutes to go.
Oh man.
Like, and you just don't like score more. What's the problem? They weren't stopping you offensively. Continue scoring more. I get it. You're fearful of any injury or things like that. But Dallas literally was like they were doing their thing. That if Dallas had 5 more minutes left, I would have been terrified, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Because they were coming back. It was 40-17, and then they just kept scoring. So long story short, like I said, Green Bay won. We're off to face San Francisco, which it's a pretty good team. I know they're a good team. So I'm actually just happy. Like we talked about before, we started the pod. I do think in a few years this team's gonna be a championship contender with Love. You have, mind you, Love got 500,000 for winning today. He got 500. He had a bonus. So if you want a playoff game, and mind you, his contract is up this year. Contract's up.
Mm.
So
He's showing
he
out
won.
still.
Oh, he's gonna get
He's
he's
showing
getting
out.
money.
Yeah, he's showing out.
So he's gonna get money this year. We have Watson, we have Dobbs, we have a bunch of young guys. None of the guys are asking for the ball. Like I'm liking this team. Yeah, I'm happy. Next week, will I be happy?
We'll
I'm
see. We'll
ready.
see.
I will see. You're right,
We'll
but
see.
I'm
We'll see.
ready. I'm ready to be hurt, and I'm okay with that because I know San Francisco is right now the better team. So
They
once I
are.
know
They
that,
are.
I can accept whatever comes.
They are. They are. They are still. So
So but yeah, let's talk about ball. Crazy thing happened just now, right before we do the pod. Damian Lillard hits a game-winning three against Sacramento Kings. Everyone's doing Dame time. Everyone's going because literally that's why you brought him. This is why you brought him. You didn't want to give Giannis the ball. You give it to Dame.
yeah.
Dame crushes guys. Like this is what they brought him for. It was something that I thought was pretty cool to
Shout out to
mention.
Oklahoma City Thunder.
Right,
Right.
right,
Shout them out.
right.
Shout out Dame Dollars. Right.
Yeah,
He put a
he
lot
he
of teams
he
winning offs,
he,
man.
he waved at you guys. He waved,
He's
waved,
been doing this still.
waved. But it was a overall good. It looks like it was a good game. It looks like the Mike Brown also got ejected. The man,
Mhm.
I saw one video.
He's a good coach. He's a good coach.
He's a really good coach, but
He's
I saw him go
underrated in
like
my opinion. He's an underrated coach in my opinion.
I saw him go like face to face with a ref. He had to get like held. I don't know what happened. I see on Twitter someone saying that Darko's is like teaching these guys how to he right now I'm gonna go play by play. Looks like Mike Brown is looking at a video talking to the media and he's complaining about the refs and he's showing them through video. These coaches are about to they're getting pissed off at the ref,
They definitely are, and I love it.
right? And we're gonna talk about Darko's rant because it's this week, and he was pretty pissed,
Rightfully
and
so.
rightfully
Rightfully
so,
so.
definitely rightfully so.
Bruh.
So I think people are not gonna they're not gonna hold their tongue anymore. Mind you, I do think refereeing the NBA is incredibly hard.
Repping any
When
professional sport though is crazy.
right, and I think when you give so much to the offense and then you try to be like, okay, we don't want to call everything, then you're hurting it. Because I'm assuming if I do a little bump, it's a foul.
Yep.
You gave it to Harden too much and then be too much. Now, why isn't it
Everyone
fair for
thinks he
me?
could do it. You're right though.
Right. So I don't know. I
Especially
just think
Harden.
like,
Especially Harden.
oh,
Especially.
he I hate saying this, but sometimes I feel like Harden and B like these guys, Trae Young, almost hurt the way the game is officiated because it's hard for now anyone else to like get those same calls. But when you look at Trae Young getting them, you're like, how does he always get them? So I think it's very hard. Once again, I think it's hard to be a
70
ref
calls.
overall. Yeah, so what we're gonna talk about, we're talking about a bunch of things. We'll talk about the Raptors as well, and the NBA as a whole. But I want to talk about a few teams that have been pretty good, even though the one team actually lost today. But the Clippers have been good,
So
and the Utah Jazz have been really good. And me and you have talked about the Clippers a few times, and we talked about it when they got James Harden. But I'm not gonna lie to you, you may have to. I need you right now to take me off the ledge because I'm about to join Clippers bandwagon. I'm about to join it because they're kind of good. They're kind of good. James
they're
Harden
playing
has
good
been
ball
really
right now.
good.
They're playing good basketball right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Kawhi's been good. So they're 8-2 in the last 10. And let me give you a quick one before when we talk about Utah. Utah's eight and sorry,
Yeah.
8 out of 10. So 8-2. And so is the Clippers. Yeah, the two hottest teams it looks like in the league right now are those two
And the
teams. So
Bulls, no? What about the Bulls? What's the Bulls' last 10?
they're 6-4. But we're gonna talk about Bulls because you're right. It seemed like they've been winning.
Yeah.
It looks like they've been winning. I agree with you. Uh, crazy enough, Indiana's 8-2, and you would have thought that when they lost Halliburton, they'd be a little worse. They've been pretty good. Pretty good.
Surprising.
They're just an overall good team. It shows that. One thing they lost today, but still a
Like
pretty good
Indiana
team.
though, got just a lot of the young guys got a lot of confidence in each other. That's all.
That's it. Arena and Nemhard and everyone, they do. But yeah, so the Clippers. I'm crazy. I shouldn't jump on. Like I'm not there yet because I do agree what we said back in the day. But could this year be different? Ooh, Kevin, say that. Could this year be different? Tell me,
I
tell
want
me
to
something
believe.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, we want to believe this year is going to be different, but it's yet to be seen with the Clippers. Like we've seen this type of Clippers regular season,
Right.
win a string of games, look elite, look like
Yeah.
they could actually get to the finals, and it never happens. And but this roster this year has the most names on it. I'm going to say
Yep.
that it's
Yep.
ever had, right? So Harden is taking the back seat. Obviously, he knows it's not his team, right? He's been taking the back seat though since he's got to Philly, right? So he's for a
Yeah.
couple of years now. So you got PG playing lights, shooting lights out from three. Like
He
he
is.
is averaging like 4 threes a game made.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know what I mean? At 41%. So like, and he's an elite defender. Then you have Kawhi
Right.
Leonard, another elite defender. So they have the guys to get it done. You have Norman Powell off the bench, averaging like 13 a game, giving you consistent threes as well, corner threes, consistent quality minutes. Zubac fitting in, Harden feeding Zubac, him getting double doubles. Like they have so much ways to beat you.
Yep.
But we need to see them in the playoffs. We know what Kawhi does in the playoffs. He's
We know.
clutch, most clutch, right? Can he be healthy? Can they all be healthy? That's another question.
That's the biggest question, right? With the Clippers is like, we know you're talented. We know Kawhi. We get it. Kawhi is that guy. Mind you, he only missed like 2, 3 games this season so far, which is like crazy. And he signed an extension. He signed a 3-year extension because he's technically a free agent. And he signed an extension. They said that they're gonna work on Paul George, and they're probably gonna James Harden has to get signed in the offseason, but Paul George can get the extension now. So I can see that happening. But this team, like you said, they're talented. Zubac, all the ask this guy to do is get rebounds. He's like a legit 7 footer, and he's like a big guy.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's a big guy, and like he all he has to do is get rebounds. Like you said, that pick and roll with Harden, you got to either guard Harden or give it down low to Zubac, who has a soft touch. It's not like
Very,
he's a
very.
really bad like post player, So I don't know. This team, man, it's just and you're right. The bench, you have a guy like Norm. Plumlee is a pretty good. Russell Westbrook is like has been pretty good this whole season. He's come off the bench, he's accepted his role, and he's been very good off the bench. He
Very.
doesn't force it, and like it's been good. Like you said, the health is probably the biggest reason to know to say like what is the future. But I have to say it's James Harden because will he? Do you see James Harden accepting throughout the rest of the season and playoffs? I'm the third guy.
Definitely. He has to. You know what I mean? He knows his job is just to facilitate. And when he has the open look or when guys aren't going to get himself going, right? But there's a few guys on the team to get going, right? And Westbrook coming off the bench, he's just providing energy. You know Westbrook is going to play hard every single play,
Every play.
right? And then you have Norm on it. These guys have a top to bottom a good team, name wise, right? That
Yeah.
can get it done, but they all have to accept their roles. That's it. Accept
Yeah.
their roles and stay healthy. To me, sky's the limit for them, but we'll see in the playoffs. Harden has to reach that next gear in the playoffs. There's not as much pressure because he
He's
was
the
in
two
those situations
guys.
number one guy, right?
Right.
Now he's the third guy. So let's
Yeah.
see.
It's
See.
the Clippers, it's more like that's why like none of us are really speaking too much about it because we gotta see it. We just gotta see it. Great on you guys for playing this well, being one of the best teams in the league,
Yeah,
and Kawhi being Kawhi. Like we all know Kawhi's that guy. Like he is. Like
100.
he's just so efficient. Like it's his efficiency that is like what makes you just go wow. Like this guy's just so efficient. Another team, a team that I've always said the Raptors are my favorite team. This is my second. This is my American favorite team. A team that I've asked and said I'm okay if you guys tank. I'm okay if you trade Laurie Markkinen. The Jazz are 8-2, and they've just been. And mind you, let me tell you the teams they beat recently, okay?
Well, I know
And they're on a
nothing.
5-game winning streak. They beat Philadelphia. I don't believe they had Embiid though. I don't believe they had Embiid. Still beat Philadelphia. Beat Milwaukee.
Good team.
Then beat Denver, the
Great
best team.
team. Yeah.
If the team won the title, beat Toronto, fine, but to beat Toronto like by a lot. Let me just say,
Okay.
and then they beat LA. Mind you, LA didn't have LeBron, but still, this team they were
They were losing to
16 and
everybody
20.
early in the season, right?
Right?
They were losing to everybody early in the season.
Like they yeah. See, they were 6 and 12 at one point. Like then they were 16 and 20, but now they're 21 and 20. This team is good, and like I watched the game against the Raptors, and like they were just it's hard to beat a team that's clicking. It's hard to beat a team. Well, I'll probably mention it multiple times. Me and Scully went to LA Fitness a couple weeks ago, and we went against a bunch of guys. But these group of like four, 5 mans, right?
So
Were
yeah,
all pretty short, shorter than me.
yeah.
And I'm 5'9". They were like shorter than me. And like the way the ball movement was, no one could beat them. They were
No,
switching, they were passing the ball, they did a lot of pick and roll, they drove and kick, the DHOs were there, like everything was there. There was guys who were better on the court individually, but they couldn't beat that one team. The way Utah is playing, they're one of those teams. Of course, when the playoff comes, you will need a star. I do agree, you will need a star. But they're
100%.
playing like they're about to be like a top 6 seed in the West because they're only like 2 games behind. Like I don't know if it's gonna be forever. I don't know what the next if they're gonna trade anyone. Like I said, I kind of want them to trade people, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case.
Utah got just a bunch of a bunch of good role players, sort of thing,
Right.
just that are just building more chemistry right now. I was seeing a highlight of Sexton, and it was like he ran from one end of the court all the way back to the other end of the court to dive for a loose ball, and it's like
Right.
plays like that, right? That everyone is doing Kessler on the squad, right? Blocking shots, rebounding, right?
And he's coming off the
Like that,
bench.
plays like that, it's like it's winning plays, right? And it's contagious for the whole team. The whole team is playing hard, like everyone is playing hard, right? Can't lose. You can't lose too much games like that. Talent
Jordan
plays a
Clarkson has been
factor.
really good. Jordan Clarkson's been really good. Their rookie Keontae George has been good. Like their bench is like Keontae George, Abaji, who's okay. Clarkson, who's when you have a sharpshooter like Clarkson, when he wants to be like it can be crazy. Kessler, defender. Kelly Olynyk is a really good like backup power forward.
Very,
Even center,
very good.
wherever you want to put him. But offensively, he's really good.
Very
And their
high
coach
IQ.
is good.
Very high
Very
IQ.
high IQ. Yeah, very high IQ. Like this Utah team, I really want them to tank, but it's one of those things like
They were going to as well. Still, I can't lie.
they were like so close. And then mind you, they have bigger draft picks.
Yeah.
They have draft picks that they have their own, they have others. And I not that I question this, but are they a team that like they can attract free agents? They can. But Zach LaVine, what do you think?
Zach LaVine, I like Zach. I like LaVine. You know what I mean? In Utah, is he gonna play alongside Clarkson? Well, is that gonna work? How is they both their defense on at the
Okay.
same time? Will that cause an issue? You know what I mean? Are they gonna have to
Clarkson,
play zone? Because in a man-to-man, they're gonna get torched, right? Because you have Clarkson guarding what, the two, and you got LaVine guarding maybe the three as well. Because they're not gonna guard the one and two, right?
LaVine, he could he could guard when he wants to. Like every guy. He
Okay.
can guard when
How
he
often
wants
does
to.
he really want to guard in his career
And
so far?
and would you want Zach LaVine? You had Laurie Markin and Zach LaVine in Chicago before. You want that again?
You're right. And how did that work? You
It
weren't
didn't.
traded, exactly.
So sorry guys, I'm not but would you want But if you're Utah, you're not a trade destination. So you
No,
have to look in the market. Honestly, I've said it from even before. The perfect guy in Utah is Donovan Mitchell. And he was on the team. But
I don't know.
imagine Donovan Mitchell with this squad, with Laurie Marketing, with a Kessler. It
Speaking
would
of
be so
Donovan
good.
Mitchell, I was having a conversation with my boys, right? And he was saying Donovan Mitchell is a B player, not an A player. Do you think he's a B player?
You know, I like I love your question. Love it. I really do. So here's the thing, right? And probably we'll probably one day have a whole podcast about something like that. But to even quickly mention a B player or an everyone's definition of an A player and a B player is different, right? But do I think Donovan Mitchell's a B player? Yeah, in that sense, yeah. If he's if I'm thinking it of my way, yeah. I think
Okay.
there's only like okay, let me think of A players. Okay. Um LeBron, of course.
Hmm.
You know what? I said this to myself before. The real A players are this game: LeBron, KD, Steph, Kawhi, Giannis, Jokic.
And you're hitting the nail on the head with this list because he agrees with the same, everything you said, the exact same guys.
Because I'm trying to think, is there anyone else? Like actual A guys. Like I think the guys who are future A's are like Luca is a future A. You know, if you told me that Luca was an A, I would almost agree with you. He just doesn't have enough talent around him, right?
Yeah.
But Luca also needs to play unselfish. But that's one. But the other people is like Luca, Tatum, Shea, Donovan, Devin Booker. Those guys are like B. Jimmy Butler, I would actually he's one guy I put at the A
You put it to A. Okay.
because and the reason why I put it at the A because to me is A is like the guy that's leading you, right? That's taking you there. People can say, "Oh, Jimmy Butler will take you to the finals," but will he actually win you a title? Don't cut. Yo, winning a title is so hard. The
Very.
fact that he took you to the championship twice, being the number one guy, he's the guy that I'm still, if I'm Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, I don't want to face Miami.
True.
Still to this day, I
So
don't want to
true.
face Miami.
Undersized Miami Heat team too, right?
Jimmy hasn't been playing. Jimmy is not playing this whole season for a reason. You think he's hurt? You think Jimmy's not hurt? Jimmy Butler's not hurt. He's just resting.
Hmm.
So I agree. Is Donovan Mitchell? No, but like I think so. When Donovan Mitchell was available, he could have been sent to Toronto, but the package would have been huge, right? But if you're telling me it's Donovan Mitchell, Pascal, if we potentially still have Scotty, then yeah, I think if you have like a bunch of Bs together, you can do something.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I do think you have a bunch of Bs. Like if you put so Laurie Markkinen is not a B yet. So if we have to think about, it, I don't think he's a B yet. I
What's
think he
he?
can be. He's like maybe a C because he's like a. So when I think of it, an A is like the number one option. That's the guy that you just trust, right? Um, B I would see as like a number two or number three option. C is a number. It could be a number two option on like a good team, but maybe on a title team, they're more like a number three
Yeah.
option.
Yeah.
Like Laurie Markkinen is probably on number unless the number one guy is like an A person.
Like a
If you're an
Kawhi.
A person, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you're an A person. Like Kawhi, yes. Like it doesn't matter. Like Kyle Lowry for the longest was like a lower B. With Kawhi, he elevates himself. Look, Pascal was no one thought Pascal was gonna be this good. No one did. Having a Kawhi elevated Pascal to a B, right? And that's what people do, right? They elevate you. Like Paul George is probably like a B plus. You know what I'm saying? And before he was more like a B, a solid B,
Yeah.
but having that number one guy. So I love that question. One day we will do like a whole tier of guy tier list. But
Right.
what do you think? You think Donovan Mitchell's a B?
I think he's yeah, because so much time to see him in the playoffs, and it's like first round, second round, and they had good teams with the Jazz. So
They did.
just to prove himself to be an A still.
It's hard to be an A. Like it's hard. It's only a few guys that are truly an A, like truly an A. And mind you, like Giannis won, and Giannis is an A, but like how am I gonna say this? Is Giannis an A because he won a title, or is he truly an A? That's a question that you have to ask yourself sometimes
I know he's
because
truly A. I feel he's truly an A because
he's truly an A, right?
he was dominating. He
He is. He
dominated.
is so he's super dominant. You're correct. Cause I'm just thinking like so yeah, but Giannis is an A. Drew Holiday is probably a B minus because
Yeah,
he's probably a second. You would rather a third option. Middleton is a B, so you have two Bs with that A, and like you're gonna win a title if you have two Bs,
that's how they. Yeah.
right? You're gonna win. Like Jokic is Jokic is an A, definitely Jokic is an A, but you need playoff Murray to be a B plus. Murray, if Murray's
It's okay.
you know what I'm saying? Because playoff Murray is different.
Yeah, very.
Playoff Murray is completely different. So it makes sense. Um, yeah, there's not a lot. That's why the argument of Max, right? Like we'll talk a little Raptors and like even Pascal, right? Like Pascal right now, Pascal on a good team is a B plus. He's a second option. Pascal, the way he's hitting threes, and well, like I said, we'll talk about it. Like he's a B plus.
True, he is.
Right. Will he always be? Obviously, people change, right? Like Draymond Green, for what he does, is a B plus.
Overall, yeah. For what
What
he
he
does
does
overall, yeah.
overall game, but not offensive. Offensively, he's an F. Like, let's be honest here. Well, yeah, there's not a lot, man. There's not a lot. I think in the NBA we're so quick to call guys like a secondary because some guys are or we're so quick to say a guy's like a number one guy. Like Trae Young is a B. And he's like a B minus, but you know I'm a hater, so it's fine.
Sure, I
'Cause
have no comment about you. This season, I don't know. I don't even.
his numbers are great, but his team is bad. So to me, why did I mention Trae Young? It's my fault. How could he truly be a B and he can't even lead his team to winning games? And to me, people talk about him like an A. That's why I get frustrated. People talk about like him like he's an A. He's not an A.
I
He's a
feel
B.
like I don't know if he declined. I don't know if it's
His
a
numbers
no
will say he didn't.
overall, but
His numbers say he didn't.
he's always been averaging 20 and 10, which is good.
I just think he doesn't make anyone better.
I kind of agree.
Like at all, at all, at all. Just got a report. I forgot to mention before that Desmond Bain is out, so he's gonna be reevaluated for 6 weeks. That whole team, he's got out. Jaws obviously out for the season. Marcus Smart's out.
Some
It's
smells
okay.
fishy here. Some smells fishy here.
Oh, we're trying to tank. That's
Yeah.
we're not even hiding,
Trying to tank, yeah. Just call them to the Memphis Tank Grizzlies.
right? And
Grizzlies
then
call it that.
And the crazy thing is, like, as much as you tank, you're not worse than Washington. You're not worse than San Antonio, and
Pistons.
you're not even close to the Pistons because they're on another like 7 game losing streak. And they had a trade today. They traded Marvin Bagley and I forgot it was Isaiah Livers to Washington for Gallinari and I think Mike Muscala. Like it happened, and everyone's just like, okay,
That's not even gonna move any fucking needle at
like what are we
all.
doing?
But
Like
good for you guys for getting rid of fucking Bagley because he is such an underachievement.
disappointment.
So disappointing.
Definitely so. I just seen that the football score. Detroit won. Shout out to Detroit. The Pistons suck, but shout out to you. So Detroit's doing something good. But yeah, like Dozen Baines out. They'll still get a top like 6 pick, and they're gonna be. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be a topic of conversation
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
Jaw's gonna be healthy. JJJ will be healthy. Bain will be healthy. If you get a top
All right.
like if you get a top 7 pick, if you're the Grizzlies, you're calling around.
Hmm.
Like, but I don't know who you call for. Like, who do you try to get if you're them?
Who do you think the Grizzlies need though? Like, what position do they need filled? Let's start with
A
that.
wing, a wing. They need a
Wing, a
really
six
solid wing.
six to 6'9" person that can defend and shoot and
Defend. And honestly, I'm not sure if he'd be perfect fit. Like, I'd almost think like if you can get two guys, but like I'm calling Brooklyn. Hey Brooklyn, we
wow.
have a sixth pick. You guys don't have any draft picks. Give us Mikel
That's
and
not
give us
happening.
like
It's not
it's
happening.
it's
They're
not
not keep,
happening
they
for because
want
they
they
want to
need
keep
to keep
him.
Mikhail. That's their
They
price.
want to keep him. They want to keep him. But I'm thinking like give me him because that'll be a nice wing to pair with. Oh, imagine the defense. Him and Jaren Jackson Jr. And if you keep Marcus Smart,
That's legit.
that's a really now I think like every team has to make a sacrifice to get to where they want to go in some sense. I think Bane is potentially the sacrifice. I understand he scores points and he's a good shooting guard, but something about Bane, it doesn't. I
Not a
think
fan, huh?
no, but things I am a fan. I like Bane a lot, but I'm not sure if he's your second or third guy. I know Jaw's that guy, but like I think you need a wing.
You know what I think Bane is?
What?
He's their, I want to say their microwave guy in a sense. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Just like you're
Right.
not the second, you're not the third. You're just get yours when it's time to get yours. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Like
Because he can
I
fill it
you
up quick. He's got a
very
very,
quick.
very immaculate stroke and form shooting. I cannot lie. It looks pretty. His shot
Right.
release looks pretty. You know those guys that when they're shooting, they look relaxed,
Right.
like
He
it's
does.
therapeutic.
Yep.
That's how Bane looks when he's shooting. That's how Clay looks when he's shooting.
Yeah.
Those guys, they look when Clay releases it, it's like it's just therapeutic. You can tell like
Right.
he's floating in the air, right? Same with Bane.
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson too.
Jared Jackson
I
is
like
he's a
this
good
team.
player.
I like this team. And with the wing, like hypothetically, if they got Bridges,
Right.
we didn't even see B Clark,
Right. 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 You're
right?
right.
So think of how
Adams.
deep that team would be. And is Jones on the team too? Tyus Jones? Tyus,
No, he's with Washington. He got traded to
um,
Washington.
who's their backup? Wow, I'm missing. Who's their backup on their team? Memphis,
Uh,
the guard.
I don't think they even have a backup guard like that's the it was Tyus. It was Tyus Jones. So you're probably still thinking
I
about
don't see
him.
Rose get any PT.
He's not getting a PT. He's
That's
not getting a
good.
PT.
They're dissing him still.
But like that team is a good team.
Yeah.
So and you're gonna be good next year. Now, yeah, you could try to get a young asset because Jaw's still very young. Bane is not too young, but they're all good ages. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good age. Like everyone's a pretty good age. So you're okay with it. But let me see how old is Bane? That's gonna be wrong.
Brayton is like maybe
And
25, 26.
yeah, 25. Yeah, so that's still good. Jaren Jackson Jr. is 24. Jaw's 24. Like you could try to get a small forward from the draft. You can get like a 20-year-old, but if you and your window's still pretty like you still got a 4-year window if you
I
think
was
about
gonna
it.
say, yeah, 4 or 5 year window. Get someone from the draft. If you really get in the top 10 pick, let's say, you get a
Yeah.
small forward. Grizzlies are not known for player development. So that player has to more or less be developing on his own, like be one of those guys to get better on his own.
Yeah.
But there's got a group of good guys
But
around him. They
recently
have
their player
vets.
development's okay because of Bane, Jaren Jackson, and Ja. So recently it's good. But before I even let you continue, like I was watching a podcast and they were right. We talk about player development as a team thing, but really it's a player thing. So
Exactly.
I kind of agree with you. You're right. Yeah, because Ja was a number 2 overall pick. What were you developing? Jaren Jackson Jr. was a top 6 pick. What'd you develop? Bane is the person that like people are the Raptors are like throwing up. Boston's like throwing up because of a Boston pick. Like, so you're right in that sense. Yeah, the Grizzlies were. Let me look at their stats. See, Moran played 9 games and averaged 25 points. Crazy.
Did you
Bane
see?
is 24.
And I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you see how when Ja got injured, apparently, quote unquote, at practice, and his tweet,
Now,
he
what do you
just,
say?
he just put damn. It's just like just put tanking. Just put that in your tweet. Just tanking.
He averaged 8 assists. He's averaging 25, basically 6 and 8, 6 rebounds and 8 assists.
Well, John will get his numbers. He's good. It's just his 3-point shooting is just shaky.
Um, I don't want you to get disgusted by this because I'm disgusted by looking at this. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s rebounding is only at a 6.
That's disgusting. He
That's
needs,
disgusting.
what's he doing?
You're
What
a
are
big
you
man.
doing? Yeah. And you get
You
33 minutes a game. Like, why you?
yeah. You should not be. You should not be doing that. But yes, I look at this team. It's a good team. Like, so if you added a Mikal Bridges, I think this is a good, especially because there's no one in the league anymore. There's no like Golden State Warriors anymore. If you go on a hot streak, you're telling me if you're the Grizzlies and you still have, if you can somehow still keep Bane, right? If you can keep Bane, as I'm saying, if you trade Brooklyn, you trade Bane and the pick, and maybe you get Mikal and I don't know, maybe you should try to get someone else. Maybe you can get Mikal and something else. Like
I'm
that'd
okay
be
with that. Mikhail for Bane and the next man, like
yeah,
2-2. I'm okay with
yeah,
that.
right? Because they're giving you a pick,
If I'm the GM for Grizzlies, I'm okay with that.
right? Because especially you're literally giving off your 6th overall pick. You don't know what if this person's a star. You have no idea. So to me, like you give up something. You have Mikal, John Morant, and Mikal's like could be a really good number 3. But on this team, maybe he's a number 2, right? But that team could
But
be really good with a solid bench. He's still got a
number
bunch of
two,
young
yeah. He'd
guys.
be a good number 2, right? Because I believe he's averaging like 20 something right now, low 20s
Right,
right
right,
now. Paired up with Jaren Jackson. I obviously want them to keep Bane. If they could have those 4 on the squad, that would be pretty legit, right?
right, right. Look how talented that team will be. But then Mikal, if
I'd
you think
rather
about it for
Mikhail
him,
than Bane because you got
if
the
I'm
defense.
Mikal, do I want to go there? Because I was just in Phoenix and I was like the third, fourth guy. Do
The
I want
thing
to
is
go to
with
the Grizzlies?
Mikhail, it's you have to ask yourself, do you want to win or do you want to be that guy?
That's a question I think a lot of NBA players fight.
Right?
I think they fight that a lot because it's a good question. It's hard. Do you want to be the role player or you want to win titles?
Because like Mikhail he's got game. He's got game. He's a dog.
Okay,
So
he's good. Let's go to. We don't have to spend a lot of time on them. We spend no time on them. Lakers haven't been good. The Warriors haven't been good. I think we can all predict that the Warriors are going to shake it up.
let's
They've
get it.
now said that everybody is available besides, of course, Steph. I'm curious to see if they still would trade Klay Thompson.
They will definitely consider trading Klay Thompson. There is no loyalty in these franchises unless you are that one, unless you're Jordan Curry, those type of
Unless
players.
you're that guy.
You know what I mean? There's no loyalty. Draymond,
See,
when
that's
is he
another
going?
great way of seeing A. Are A's like, do you want to re-sign that guy all the time? That's an A player, the person that you're putting everything on. They have to literally request for you, and you'll just beg them not to. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Like Kerr, shout out to Steve Kerr because I've been saying Steve Kerr is not a good coach since he joined Golden State Warriors. So this just showing you.
everyone's saying that. It's funny because people were saying that from then. I think I told you before. I was on the Twitter Spaces where people just talk, and the way they were talking about Steve Kerr, they're calling this guy like hands and pants guy, like a Darvin Ham. They're calling this guy like clueless. They were saying so much things about this guy. They're like, "We hate Steve Kerr. I never liked that guy." Da-da-da-da-da. It
Mhm,
was crazy
mhm,
the way that
mhm.
the fans were talking about this guy. They don't like him.
And I don't really disagree with that still because everyone knows who's been watching basketball for at least a decade knows that that was Mark Jackson's creation, right?
Yeah,
To me,
and
Steve Kerr didn't
you got
respect it.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, yeah. It was Mark Jackson's creation, and they just grew as players together and built that chemistry together through playing. It was Mark Jackson's creation. It was Mark Jackson's idea to play the offense like that. Steve Kerr just came in, and I'm not even trying to knock Phil Jackson, but kind of came like a Phil Jackson, kind of had good players when he came into Bulls, right? Kind of had the Pippen, kind of had the Jordan, not kind of had those guys, you
Right.
know, won some rings, came with the Lakers. Remember the Lakers? Lakers had Shaq and Kobe, came through, right?
We did
Got
some.
some rings, right? And after that, his coaching went down, right? And it was
Right.
GM for a bit. So it was like good coaches are Eric Spoelstra, for example,
Oh, top coach.
right?
Top coach.
Like guys that can whatever else you give them, they inspire their players to become better players and to play as a unit, right? Kerr,
Ty Lue.
Ty Lue, right? Ty Lue, Kerr, Doc Rivers, no.
Overrated Doc Rivers. I've always said that. I don't care what anyone. That guy's the most overrated. He's just because he's black, respectfully. Because he's black. That's only fucking. He's because he was black during the Donald Sterling era. People just love him so much. But like respectfully, like he's a good coach. Every coach is a good coach, but he wasn't like that. Like he wasn't.
Yeah, he was overrated. Like he was okay. He was. I'm gonna say he's
Yeah,
okay.
like he's just
He's
okay.
overrated. Let's and Kerr is. I
He's
don't. He
getting
doesn't.
it
I don't
too.
see him inspiring guys. I don't see guys listening to him, taking authority. If guys were listening to him, Draymond wouldn't have did that to Poole, right?
Right.
If there was a respect like
Right. Like, come on, man. And you just allowed Draymond to act the way he acted to the point the man missed like 13, 14 games. What are you talking about?
yeah, and it's costing you your season. Your look.
Yeah, they've been really bad. But Wiggins has been so bad. Like he's a negative contract. Like if I'm a GM and you want me to take Wiggins, I'll take Wiggins. I would like two draft picks. I'm not taking one draft pick for Wiggins. I want two. And I want a good one.
His value went down. Still straight
Oh
value.
yeah, I want unprotected. I don't want you to protect it 1 to 6, no. I want unprotected draft picks to get Wiggins. If I'm taking that horrible contract, I want what I want.
No, that is a horrible
Oh,
point.
one thing Detroit did that I forgot to mention, by trading these guys, they now have like $64 million in cap for next off season.
Okay.
So some people are saying, could that be a Pascal destination?
Hell,
There's not really a lot of guys. Like
no.
I'm not sure James Harden's not going to go
Does
there.
Pascal have a good relationship with Casey? Are they good?
I believe so, yeah. Because Casey, every time Casey has like a young athletic wing, he always says like reminds me of Pascal Siakam. It was like a running joke at one point. He said it all the time. So I think he's good with Casey, but
I think Siakam won a ring here. He's trying to stay in Toronto. I
he
feel
definitely wants to stay in Toronto.
he
But
wants to stay in Toronto.
Toronto's
If
a
they
lot.
trade him, they trade him. But I know I feel he wants to stay here.
He definitely wants to stay. Okay, so the Bulls have been really good,
So
really good. Like Kobe White's been top notch. If he was playing like
would
this
you say
earlier,
you expected this from Kobe White though? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but would
no,
you
no.
kind of say you expected to play like this from Kobe White? Because we all knew he was talented.
So Kobe White is a bucket getter, right? I think it's one of those things. It's a great streak now,
Yeah,
but is it long lasting? And I'm not sure if it's long lasting. I'd have to see more of it because just reminds me of like a six man who you're just giving the ball to, and he's just doing whatever he wants. Like, is he making the team better, or is it more about like what he's doing? So that's what I think you have to see going forward. But no, I really didn't see it with Kobe White. Not like this. Not I didn't think they basically like they're winning games. Bill Simmons called it the Ewing theory because when Ewing left, then they made it to the finals, or he got hurt, then he made the New York made it to the finals, and like Zach has been gone, and they've been very good. Even though they're 6-4 in the last 10, it seems like to me they've been winning beer games. They're like a couple games behind or a couple games
we were
under 500.
steadily
Like
climbing the seat standing steadily because they were with the Raptors, right? At
they're
one,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I don't know, the one thing with them winning games, the same thing that I mentioned a couple of podcasts ago, is that the more they win, the more the GMs are like, oh, we like this team, and you're gonna fall trap because at least what the Raptors have is Scotty Barnes, a 23-year-old guy who you believe can be the future. I'm not sure Chicago has a guy in that level that you believe can be an
They
A,
don't.
honestly, even a B. I don't see anyone on the Bulls who are a B.
They don't.
Um,
They
if
don't.
if that guy becomes it, then it's good.
Levine reached his ceiling. DeMar reached
Right,
his ceiling right now.
right, right.
My bad, Vukovic, he reached his ceiling.
Yeah, yeah.
Patrick Williams
He's
on the spot, ceiling.
he he's probably still disappointing to them. Fourth overall seed, but it's tough.
And yeah, Patrick was fourth overall, he's averaging like 8 and 7.
I'm telling you, if I was a team, I would always want to draft in the middle. Always want to draft in the middle. I don't want to draft a top 10 player and have all these high expectations. I don't. I want to draft in the middle.
You draft like 11 20 or something like that.
Right. Like I would want to draft you 11 to 20. And if I have like a top pick, of course everyone could say, but I really just want like one, two, or three. If I don't have one, two, or heck, if I have four and it's not a loaded draft, give me like some lower draft picks. Because they're gonna turn into really good role players. Like I don't want star upside anymore. Like, I would be a different type of GM. I don't want upside.
Because expectations, yeah, it changes how you coach when you have expectations, right? So
Right. Because then you want them to be this like Patrick Williams is supposed to be the next OG or the next Kawhi type. Like you put too much on them, then
that
what
was way
happens?
too
And
much.
then,
When you look at them, it's like, really?
like look at Wiseman. Look at Wiseman. Look at Bagley.
Where is he? Oh, he's in the Pistons, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
The Pistons,
right. They took a flyer to see what they're working with. I think Wiseman had a bad. I thought he was gonna be good because I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna come in, learn from Draymond, Steph. They don't want to teach nobody. They don't want to teach nobody.
what is
That's like
Steph going to teach
Kaminga's
a
not
big
doing that.
man, though? Like, what is Steph going to teach a big man?
Right, right,
And what is
right.
Draymond going to teach a big man?
Right. It's true. It's true. So that's why it's good. If you're a bad player, you go join a bad team. Houston Rockets, you called it. They're a better team because you have Fred, you have Dylan, you have Jeff Green. Just there's a video of
And you
Fred,
got a
like
good coach. Don't forget the coach. You
a
got a
really
good
good coach. And you have Fred encouraging Sengun. Sengun's having a breakout season. Like,
yes.
and that means I truly think next year is gonna be even a better season for Sengun.
He's
So
going to be an all-star. He's going to be an all-star.
he will be. Shea is, I think right now Jokic is like number one MVP. If Embiid misses, I think it's 8 more games, then he's no longer eligible for MVP, and he's no longer eligible for like all NBA. So keep
And
missing
all
games.
it can affect the bag.
Exactly. That's what. So a guy that people are gonna start talking about more is Shea. You're gonna start hearing the Shea for MVP because he's good, man. That OKC
Second best
team.
player out of Canada, period. Shout out to Nash. That's it.
I can't take away from Nash just yet. I can't.
No, he's the
I
second.
can't
No,
take
he's
away.
second. Yeah, you can't. Nash is number one player out of Canada,
Oh,
period.
okay, okay, yeah.
Shea is number
Nash is,
two. That's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Shea, and then like, you know, what sucks? With Andrew Wiggins, he wasn't on the Canadian national team, and like the Olympics is this year, so I'm pretty excited to watch the Canadian team because I think they needed an Andrew Wiggins. But now we're not. Andrew's like, oh, I would love to play for Canada. We don't want you. Thank you so much, sir. We'd rather have our squad. You
We
need a
don't.
lot of
We didn't want. We said no to Wiggins. He wanted to play with us.
Wiggins said no to us,
Yeah.
to
Okay.
Team Canada. Yeah, and then for this upcoming summer, everyone, because we can agree, if Wiggins is playing the way normal, we'd be like, yeah, we can put Wiggins on this team. Like him, Shea, Jamal. You could put like Kelly at the 4
I was
and
gonna
have
say
like someone at
Kelly.
the 5. Like you're good. Have like a Dwight Powell at the 5. That team can offensively compete
Lou
with
Dort
like,
off the bench. Yeah.
come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
Dylan Brooks off the bench, Blue Dort. Like
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a squad, but if he's playing like this, keep him away. Right? There's clearly something that Wiggins is going through. I'm not sure if it's the family situation he had in the past, but there's clearly a block. But I think the Warriors had a culture, and it's not there no more.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
believes in that culture. The next thing I want to do before we get to our Raptors, so we normally try to play a little game, but it's not really a game. I'm going to mention guys. You just tell me yes or no. If you want to explain it, you definitely can. Only this is the first names that I thought of guys who can get traded, and the trade deadline is on February, I think like 6th or something. That's the deadline, February 6th, so Tuesday.
That's soon.
So sorry.
That's soon.
It is soon.
It's
That's
soon.
why every 2 seconds there's a Zach Levine report, there's a Pascal report, there's consistent reporting, and it's almost infuriating, but it's a consistent report about something. So, first guy, do you think Zach Levine's getting traded?
Possibly, yeah. I'm gonna say yeah.
If you had to do a percentage,
I'm like 70%.
I think so too. Brian Windhorst had said that, like, and he's probably being a little extra about it, but in his podcast, I was quoted on Twitter, but he was like, "Oh, Zach Levine wants to get traded, and Chicago wants to trade him. Chicago wants to trade him so bad they would trade him today. Heck, they'll trade him
Oh
tomorrow.
shit.
They don't.
Oh
They don't
shit.
want him back, and he doesn't want to be there. Like their relationship is good. Like it's like a mutual like, thank you, we good. I'm gone. But yeah, so DeMar.
Honestly, I don't know. I think
Because
they're
they're
leaning
winning games. Because they're winning games.
I think they're leaning towards obviously Levine more than DeMar, right? I think they're looking to keep DeMar, but part of me keeps hearing, not keeps hearing, but he wants to go to LA, right? Or be in LA, right?
LA or New York? No, no. I heard it's New York or Miami.
So I don't know. They could just shake it up. And what if they just trade both and say we're
I
rebuilding?
would trade both. To me, like, don't once again, you don't have a Scotty Barnes type. Trade them all because you're not good enough. Trade them all. Heck,
Who are
if
you
Kobe White
keeping
is,
on the squad on the Bulls?
I'm keeping none of them because there's nobody that's
I agree. I agree. I agree.
there's nobody. There's no one that stands out to you. So the the Kobe White's playing nice. I'm trying to see who likes him. Hey Detroit, you're not the smartest team. Pair
I
him with
like
Kate.
that answer. I like that answer.
Why not? Right? But I'm thinking like that. But if I'm Chicago, like trade them all. Speaking of Chicago, Caruso.
Shit, man. That's honestly the one guy I would want to keep. But if you need to get a better team, he has value. He has value.
So much value. More value
So
than
I
anyone
would say you
on
got to
this.
pull a trigger on that. But I like
Yeah.
Caruso. I like that guy can be on any squad in the league and get minutes. Any squad.
Once you said that, that's why the value is so. That's what you. If you're the GM, you're saying like, for Levine, you may not get a first round pick. DeMar, you're definitely not getting a first round pick. If you do, you fleece that team.
Yeah.
Caruso, what up? I want two.
Yep.
Lakers can't call you. They have to only give you one. But I want two. I want two. So Lakers buy. You're not getting it.
I love Caruso, I should say. Shit.
Right? Philly, New York. New York, I know you got them draft picks, but you're waiting on Embiid to say like he doesn't want to be here. He's gonna stay. Um oh, I didn't put this guy's name, but I'm gonna say it now. Donovan Mitchell.
You know what? I'm like a 50-50 because you
That's
keep
weird. I
hearing
would trade him. I'll trade him. I'll trade Donovan Mitchell right now. Value is the highest. Next year won't be as high. It won't be as
Mm,
high because he wants to. Well, you don't. Who knows? But everyone's pretty sure the man is not staying on this team for the next 2 years.
yeah,
Trade
yeah,
his
that's the
value
word.
now.
That's
Once
the word,
again,
yeah.
call New York because New York really wants him.
And they're not gonna win anything this year or next year. Like they're not that good of a squad.
So you
They're
might as
decent.
well call.
Yeah, yeah.
You have Garland. You have Mobley. Garland and Mitchell pairing hasn't. It's been good, but it hasn't worked the way you wanted it to work. Mobley hasn't been the guy that you wanted him to be.
I know.
Call.
I'm surprised. I'm kind of
Call.
surprised.
That's the thing when you draft too high. Everyone thinking this guy's gonna be the next KG. Like they put too much on him. They put
And
too
he's
much
just
on him.
been okay. Like, I mean, it's all right. Like, I'm not comparing to Marvin Bagley, but shit. Like,
Yeah. Had a really good rookie season. Had a mid second season, and this year he's been injured, but like he hasn't he hasn't had a good jumper. Like Scotty Barnes' leap has been like not seen before. A guy now shooting 40% from the three on high volume has not been seen. He's doing something historic. Like, what has that guy done? Jeremy Grant. That was my bold prediction that this guy was going to get traded, but I'm confident he
he's always
stays.
getting traded. So, yeah, I'm
His
just going to
contract's
say,
just horrible, but he'll. So percentage, you say 100%?
yeah, he's getting traded. Yeah, yeah.
I think
He's
so
always getting
too.
traded.
I know Sacramento will rather Pascal, but to me, why not get a Jeremy Grant? See, if they got Jeremy Grant, that's like Fox is a B. I love that this whole B thing. It's now just changed the whole podcast. But like B is Fox and B is Sabonis. But Jeremy Grant's a C and like but he's a high level C.
He's
Like
a high school.
a very cause he averaged like 20 points like twice past
Yeah,
like 3 years.
yeah,
So he
yeah.
still can score the bucket and a good defender. So and so I'm thinking like he should get traded. His teammate Malcolm Brogdon.
Brockton is always getting moved. So I'm going to go with, yeah, he's getting traded. He seems to be getting moved.
He's definitely getting traded. A guy
Good value.
whose name has been put up a lot, DeJounte Murray.
I think they're not trading him. Atlanta needs to make moves, but I don't think that's the guy to move personally.
So I'm gonna say it's 100% because the
You
rumors
think it's
are that
100%?
oh, he's gone. Like he's gone. That's the rumors. The rumors, and I think for him it seems more likely because he already signed the extension. You have the leverage now to trade him. They don't think him and trade fit together anymore.
But they're not, yeah. I agree with Estin, but like you like a guy I'm all for defenders that can shoot the three and handle the ball. So
Right,
any guy on a team like that is like, do we really have to get rid of him?
right,
Like, what
right.
other options do we have, right? But that's me.
It's true. It's true. Okay, what about Detroit? I forgot which one it is, but Bogdan, but Detroit's one.
Save that nigga or that European nigga. Save him. Get him out of there, please.
Because
Please. Even if
he's
he's
so
on
good.
Memphis, even if he's on Memphis and you have him on Memphis as that wing guy that can shoot and whatnot,
That would be like
you don't have to give up Bane or anything, just pay him.
because you wouldn't have to. You probably have to trade a draft pick,
Or
but you
that.
don't trade this year. Trade like a next year draft pick.
And just get him. Because you know you got Bane on one side, you got him on the other side, and he's like 6'8", right? He's a decent defender, right?
I
You got
like
Jaw
that.
up top, you got Jaren Jackson in the post, you got Smart being smart, just you know what I mean, on the next
Oh,
unit.
you're right. If I'm Memphis, I'm calling. That's amazing. That is amazing. He doesn't
He's
clog the
low
paint.
key, you're not having to pay him crazy, right?
Yeah,
And he's a good like C guy that you can just slide in and just
because with that, you would have to leave. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good above the break 3-point shooter. Um, then Bane is a really good 3-point shooter. Then you have him as well as a good 3-point shooter, and Jaw like Jaw space. Ooh, I like that. That's actually really good. Save him. You're correct. D'Angelo Russell.
oh fuck. The niggas always getting moved. He's getting moved. He's getting moved
I think
eventually.
they. I
Because the
don't think
Lakers
they
are
want him.
so fucking trash right now.
And
And who are you gonna look to move? You're not looking to move AD. Let's keep it a buck. You're not looking to move LeBron.
never.
So which other guys are you looking to move Rui?
They talk about it like they want to. I think Rui may get. I think he's like a 40%. But Russell's like a darn near 80%.
And he's gonna get the most value out of you know what I mean? Unless you're trading who Reeves? And like who?
So so Reeves, that was my last guy. There was a report that it would be DeJounte Murray for Reeves. Like and probably someone else for
Okay, I was
money.
about to say, I'm like, that's it. Shit. If I'm Lakers, I'm saying, phew, bye Reeves. Phew.
You would? A lot of Lakers fans, but they're probably just being biased. They wouldn't want to trade him. They think
And
it's the
if
same
if
value.
it was one for one, if
But
it
do you
was
think they're
one
the
for
same?
one,
Because some people think that it's the same type of player.
bro, Dejounte Murray is way better than Reeves right now. We're talking about right now. Dejounte Murray kind of, I would say, kind of reached his ceiling. Reeves hasn't yet.
I think DeJounte, yeah, you know exactly what you're getting. A defender, a guy who can. Reeves is probably a better like he's more his game is a little more silky overall. Like it's a little more it's yes, it's less polished, but he can get to the basket. If you can somehow trade for DeJounte Murray, but not trade Reeves, oh I like that squad because eight LeBron is an A. Anthony Davis is a very strong B plus. And if you had a Jonte Murray who's like a C plus B minus with a Reeves who's like a C plus B minus, like that's not bad. With
Yeah,
a bunch of guys around,
yeah, yeah.
that'd be pretty good. That would be good. Yeah, so that was yeah, there's no one else. There's probably names I'm forgetting may get traded, but the last guy, which will lead us to our Raptors talk, is Pascal Siakam. He has been there's a report from Shams, then a report from Haynes, Jake Fisher, everyone. Every 2 seconds is Pascal and Toronto are far away from a trade. Da, 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 da. Then people are like, well, there was a report that Gary Trent and Toronto are close to a deal, and that never happened. and it was supposed to be close to a deal. And it was like during free agency, and that never happened. So you never really know what Masai wants to do, but it just seems with the reporting that Pascal's going to get traded, which I'm not a fan. Never been a fan of it. Pascal can play with these guys. Pascal's good. Pascal in October was shooting like in October, November, shooting like 18% shooting the three.
It's horrible.
18%. Do you know what he's shooting now? Close to 50%.
From three.
Yeah, this month, like 50%. Last month, 37%. He's having the most efficient season he's ever had. He's the one thing he's not doing, and it's a whole Raptor problem, is playing defense. He's not really playing defense a lot. He's not getting a lot of rebounds. Now, I tell you, Scully, that you know what? I would like to. I'm not going to fire you, but I'm going to fire you in 3 months. What are you going to start doing? Are you not going to start checking out? Are you
Well,
not going to?
I'm definitely mentally checked out. Mentally checked out.
So what are you asking Pascal to do? Hey, we're gonna trade you. We don't want to resign you. We get that you want to stay here. You've claimed multiple times that you want to be here, but I don't want you here anymore. But
Nah,
hey, still
that's
play
a
hard
raw
for me.
deal. That's a raw deal. You can't be doing Pascal. I don't think they should be doing Pascal like that still.
Yeah, and that's what we're all seeing. So we all thought it was so weird. Like this is weird the way that Masai's moving with Pascal. Why is he moving like you don't even like Pascal,
Yeah.
right? And it's just it's not good. But it honestly does look like I want to say 60-40 that the man's probably 70-30 that he's getting traded.
Shit,
And
man.
now we know, and we talked about it, like, what do you want? But it's clear as day that Toronto they want a young guy. They don't
Right.
want a draft pick. They want young guys, right? I'm not for Kaminga, not at all. Because
Me
you can't
too.
have
I agree.
Kaminga, right? You can't have a Kaminga and Quickly and Barrett and Barnes who all want touches. You
That
just
for
can't.
me, that doesn't sound like good chemistry with
It's
those
horrible
on
chemistry.
the squad. Yeah, that doesn't.
It's horrible chemistry. So you wouldn't want that. So you have to get young. So I don't know who else wants, who wants Pascal. Also, Pascal, he doesn't have a no trade clause, but like he decides because you don't want Pascal because he wants a max and he doesn't want to. He wants to go to free agency now because the way Toronto's moving, he's either gonna sign with you right now or go to free agency. Well, if he's going to free agency and I'm team A, I am not gonna trade my assets for Pascal ever. If this guy's leaving,
No.
it doesn't make sense, especially if we're not
100%.
winning a chip. What am I convincing this guy? You know what I mean? He's gonna cut. So that's where I can see like, oh, you know what? They may re-sign him. You sign him to a 4-year deal. Hopefully he plays well next year. Trade him. Trade him. DeJounte Murray got traded. So don't like trade them after you sign them and see what happens.
I like that idea. I like that idea.
Right? Like if you want to trade him. But you gotta wait it out. This week the Raptors, or last week I should say, they they're 3-4 since the trade. RJ has been pretty good, shooting efficiency. IQ's been pretty good. Scotty numbers have gone down, but I think he's just trying to get everyone to fit in as much. Pascal's
100%.
been amazing. Um, they lost to the Lakers. That game was a very controversial game. We saw it. We can get mad. I don't normally like to blame the refs, but this was kind of egregious. It was kind of a lot.
Bullshit.
It was a lot of like that AD, that was a flop. Like it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul at all. So it was
How
kind
he
of
fell forward, it was, and how was it quickly put his hand on his side and he fell forward. It
yeah.
didn't make sense because it wasn't like you seen what Quickly's hand was. If it was on his back and he fell that way, okay. It was on his
Right.
side. And AD is known to fucking be AD and flop.
And that one, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one because you saw his hand physically touch him. But that illegal the offensive screen on Barrett where he just trips on his own self and
Yeah,
Scotty hits the three, like
yeah.
that was a game-changing three. That would have tied the game.
Yes, and I like how you brought that up because that really pissed me off right there still. Because it's like, yo, they call offense foul and he hit the three straight through. That would have been big momentum shift.
big. And you
We would
called
have won the
that
game because we ended up losing it by one in
by
general.
one, right? And like Pascal kept hitting threes. He was like unconscious shooting the three at the end of the game. And then Pascal got hurt. He got clipped in the bottom. I didn't see the clip until after. That's a
Yeah.
flagrant like one. That's a flagrant one, and like, but the man didn't wasn't called for a flagrant. It's crazy to me. He didn't let him land, and he clipped him, and Pascal fell on his back. Hence why Pascal didn't play against the Clippers. It was a close game against the Clippers. They lost it, but I do like their fight.
They
They
lost
fought.
towards the end. I remember watching that game, lost towards the end. They were battling, but they lost towards the end because Clippers got PG quiet. They got closers.
Yeah, they did have
Closers.
closers. And then of course they lose to the Jazz by a lot, but it was the end of a road trip. They're probably tired. They're exhausted. It happens. RJ had a horrible game. He put the game on him. Darko had a crazy rant that went viral. He called Scotty the face of the NBA, which people like Stephen A mentioned it. To me, it's like that's what you're focusing on. Like Stephen A is a smart guy. Why are you focusing on
Even is just he's just trying to get the view count up.
that? Like, who
Just
cares about that?
you
It's
know what I
his
mean?
team. It's his team. I think
He's
we have the best podcast in the world. What the hell are we talking about?
exactly right. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. As a coach, you're coaching the Raptors,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't you want to fill your guys up with so much confidence?
What the hell are we talking about?
Of
Of
course, I'm going to
course,
say he's the best player on the squad. Of course, I'm going to say he's the fucking face of the league. And you know what? He's going to go out the next game and play like he's the face of the league or attempt
that's
to play
it.
the face of the league.
That's
Right?
it.
When you think about coaches, coaches instill a belief in the players that they don't believe in themselves.
Right.
That's what coaching is about.
Right.
That's what embodied Darko in that presser, in that press conference. So I rate it. I rate a guy like that standing up and fuck a fine, fuck all that shit.
Yeah.
I rate it.
Who
I
cares?
love it. This made me love
MLC is gonna
Darko.
pay for that.
Co-sign Darko. Like this is the right guy for the job. Period.
That moment, I think every Raptor fan was like, "That's my guy. That's my coach. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's my coach."
Like we obviously know Barnes is not the face of the league. You know what I mean? Right now, we know,
Yeah.
but that's not the focus, and we're focusing on what the message he's trying to say. Like, yo, put some respect on our guy's name. We
Right.
got an All NBA or future. He's trying to say in Scotty. Put some respect on our names. Siakam won a ring. Put some respect.
Yeah. That's all he's saying. I agree. That's all he's saying. So who knows what this week will give us? We have Boston, Miami. I forgot who the third team is, but we have Boston, Miami. We have Boston tomorrow. It's at home. I think Boston is a little tired, but normally
They got
after a
whooped,
long
right?
road trip,
They
sorry,
got whooped. I
yeah,
think
they did,
Boston.
they did, and like after a road trip, when you get back home, the teams normally lose. So like Toronto may lose tomorrow just being it's a long road trip, but they also had like 2 days off. So I'm thinking like,
You know what the thing is? Boston may come out strong because they sat all their starters from the half.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So they're kind of they played half a game, literally.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
it's one of
we'll see.
it's just one of those that may happen. So it's one of those you have to just. But I think that Miami game could be good because Jimmy's not going to be there, and I think when Toronto is like once again, the Jazz have been the hottest team in the league, so that loss almost makes sense. Like the Jazz is a way better team than we're all thinking. That wasn't an easy game. That was a hard team. They cut, they move, they pass the ball, they shoot the three well. Like they're and Toronto was shooting three amazing. They shot like over 40% shooting the three, but the twos were like horrible. They shot like under 35% shooting the two. So that's the difference. But
Play like with
right. So
everything's kind of getting into the Warriors, Mark Jackson, Warriors mindset. Like we're all shooting threes. It's like just that was
yeah.
their style. That's their style. Like play your stuff.
Yeah, and I think the Raptors are trying to find the identity of what how to play. They can still play very fast. They're starting to do some of the things that they did last year because it worked last year, where you try to win the possession battle. So you score, or you try to shoot like 100 times. You try to limit them shooting like 95 times. But you make sure like it's efficient threes and twos and fouls and all those other things.
I agree.
So this Raptor team is good. I know the record doesn't show it. They're much better than they were before, like much better. I really like to trade. I know you like to trade. And it's kind of like a wait and see. And the biggest elephant in the room is the Pascal side of things. I'm hoping. that Pascal can sign an extension
Me
because
too.
I truly think extension, 4 years, whatever contract, it's much easier to trade him for multiple assets. Because next year, if Indiana feels like they're one person away, they're way more likely to give up their young talent. But I'm not giving you Mathurin for Pascal, who may not come back. Because Pascal has to say, the reason why OG got traded to New York is more than likely OG's staying with New York. They
Yeah,
talked about it already. So they've talked to Pascal already. They said, hey, Pascal, we may trade you to Atlanta. Will you resign with them if you go there? No, I will not resign with Atlanta. Okay, what about Sacramento? No. Okay. Okay. So you don't what I think the Warriors he would do, but that's the one trade I can see happening is the Warriors one. Because Masai gets kind of likes players, but I wouldn't want Kaminga. Too selfish of a player.
yeah. I don't want Kuminga.
Yeah, I don't know. But mind you, it happens, and I may get excited because a bunch of young guys. We're going to be the next like really good young team I can see.
He's not
But
really doing anything right now for us to want him, but like I mean, he get better still, right? He still hasn't reached his ceiling at all, not even
at
close.
all, at all.
It's just up to him to how he develops and how he plays and his decision making, right? So
But the thing with Kaminga is the same thing that's always been the issue, the attitude. Even when he was in the G League Ignite,
and
they felt like he didn't have the greatest attitude. So
that's a
it's just one of
problem.
those things,
And that's a problem because
right?
we've seen guys in the league last number of years because of their attitude,
Right,
right?
right. And there's also like a Pascal buzz with Philadelphia. Um, I don't know why. I don't think Embiid and Pascal fit together.
They don't.
But I'm thinking Embiid's a really good 3-point shooter. So the post, Pascal could be at the post if he wants to. And if Pascal's gonna shoot 40% on corner threes, then you're good too.
But
You're
here's the
fine
thing. Would you rather Embiid shoot threes or in the paint?
in the paint always,
Exactly.
always. So I don't know. I don't think Pascal matches it, but I've heard that there's interest. I don't know where else there could be potential interest of Pascal. Pascal also has to be interested as well. But I thought a Memphis, the Grizzlies, would they not like think about it? That's why to me you have to sign Pascal because there's gonna be so much teams that are gonna think that they're so close, so
Yeah.
much teams,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Anything you want to talk about before we end the pod?
Ah, shout out to my boy on the Pelicans, Hawkins. Shout out to my boy. He had a career night the other night, I believe. Like it was 37. That boy,
My
let
team's
me
good.
tell you something. He look out for him. That's all I can
Shout out
say.
to my boy JV since you said that. JV had 11,000 points. Let's go, JV.
Shout out,
Let's
shout
go.
out, shout out,
That's my guy.
shout out.
That's my
Yeah. So
guy.
Hawkins, shout out JV. Hawkins to me, he's that guy in the future. He's that guy in the future in the NBA still, I feel.
You know, it sucks because, like, I mentioned Kajante George in Utah. You mentioned Hawkins. All those guys were guys that Toronto could have gotten, but they got Grady Dick instead. Grady Dick hasn't
Which
had
is
the
not
greatest,
seen time like that.
but like, it's too early to predict.
Very, very.
It's way too early. Guys can be good their first year, and you don't hear from them next
Which is true.
ever again. So, and Grady Dick fits what you want. So if Grady Dick like gets a shot better and he's doing what we all think we expect this guy to be like 38 to 42% 3-point shooter. That's all Scotty needs beside him is a
That's
guy,
very.
especially for building a Scotty and Barrett and a quickly like having a sharpshooter is pretty good. So that's how I see it. That's why the Raptors they got the 31st pick, which is Detroit's pick. So they're gonna have the first overall second rounder.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
not bad. That's
it's
not
pretty
bad.
good, right?
We
And
draft
you
well.
never
We
know
draft.
when a guy keeps dropping down, you know what you can get.
It's true.
So
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that happens a
see
lot.
a lot, so much so. So you just kind of have to wait and see. But next week we're probably gonna we're I have it in the rundown for next week already to do our all-star picks.
I love
So
it.
we're gonna do some all-star picks.
Love it.
See who we believe deserves an all-star showing, whatever. I mean, we'll probably do multiple guys who potentially deserve it. Probably do more than 12, maybe do 15 guys who we feel deserve it as well. But for YS Young Scully. Me, it's your boy Mike. This is the DM podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys again. Peace.
You already know.